is this? What is this? I thought you'd be happy to see me.
I am.
That's a happy face.
I'm sorry. Do I look that bad?
No, you look beautiful. You always look beautiful.
But what?
What are you afraid of?
Nothing. Okay, yeah, I guess I am a little afraid.
Of what?
I don't know.
What is this? You don't know? You don't know? Did I hear I don't know? Are you keeping secrets from the man you profess to love?
No secrets.
Then what is
I
it?
just feel uneasy.
About what?
I don't know.
About something you've done? About your commitment to me? Are you having second thoughts about that?
No, that's not it. It's just I feel so unsettled. Staying here with Mom, she can't handle all of us. I've got to find a place to live. I don't know what next step to make. And there's so many other things.
Other things like what?
Like Jamie.
Okay, well, Jamie's your son. I can understand that. I mean, that's natural. Now, what else is bothering you?
Well, what am I supposed to do with my life?
I thought we had that settled. I thought we were going to get married. You'd be my wife. And in the meantime...
Yeah, well, that's just the point. It's the meantime. I want to get on with my life, with our life. And I just keep thinking that there's something that's going to happen that will prevent that.
I know the feeling, and that's why there are things that need to be taken care of as soon as we can. Now, what else is bothering you?
Something you said.
What did I say?
That I'm being unrealistic.
Well, let's talk about it.
Have you read this morning's paper?
The Sentinel? No, I usually do, just to see what the competition is up to. But I left early this morning.
You better read it, the lower right-hand column.
What is it? Publisher James Frame arrested. Oh, no, what's it about?
You better read the rest of it.
Daily Ledger publisher James Frame was arrested Monday night for driving under the influence of an unknown chemical substance. Mr. Frame is publisher of the Bay City Daily Ledger and, in addition, serves as executive of Card Publishing. Frame was unavailable. I just don't believe it.
Well, I'm afraid it's true. I mean, Jamie didn't tell you about it.
Not a word.
Several members of the board have phoned already.
Yes, I can imagine they'd be concerned.
Oh, it's more than that. Mr. Anders complained about the publicity, said Corey didn't need this kind of attention. Especially now, he pointed out, since Corey was experiencing financial difficulties for the first time in years.
Yes, well, I'd rather not have the spotlight turned this way also, but the Sentinel doesn't give us much choice, does it?
I'm sorry it had to be me to bring in the bad news.
It's all right. Someone would have done it. I'm just so angry they'd see fit to publish this story.
Well, what are you going to do?
I'm not sure. But I certainly can't risk continuing this kind of adverse publicity for the company. That could be extremely harmful to us.
Yes, I think that's true. Is there anything that I can do that would help?
Thank you, Liz. I can't think of a thing. I'll get on it later. I've got some other business to attend to right now. Do me a favor. When you get back in your office, will you get Brian on the phone for me?
Certainly.
And now, the continuing story of Another World.
All right, let's work all this stuff out so that we can get on with it together.
I'm sorry. I just can't concentrate on anything right now.
Why, what's bothering you?
Well, Jamie, mostly. He's on my mind all the time.
I can understand that, the way that he's been behaving lately.
He needs my help, Mitch.
Maybe you can't help.
I can't just stand by. I've got to do something. I can't just not help him at all. He needs my help.
I can understand that. The only way you're going to be able to help him if he's willing to accept it. The kind of thing that he's dealing with, that kind of problem, the only way it's going to be solved is if he chooses to solve it.
Yes, but Mitch, I've got to try.
I understand that, and you're right, I know. You're going to have to deal with that before you can deal with anything else.
Yeah, that's the point. You see, I try to deal with our future. And then this problem with Jamie, it just keeps intruding itself on everything I try to think about. I mean, he's in serious difficulty right now, and he needs my help.
Okay, well, you're going to have to go to him and see if the two of you can resolve it.
Yeah, but suppose I can't.
You can try, and you will, because you love each other. You will solve it.
You do understand this, don't you?
Yes, I do understand. I want you to be happy, and I understand that the only way that you're going to be happy is to get this settled with Jamie.
Thank you for that. I love you for that. So I'll do that. I'll try and work this all out. I don't know if I can, but I'll try.
Okay, well, just do it. And then there is something else that you need to take care of.
What?
You've got to get a lawyer for your divorce proceedings.
I've already done that. I've called Brian Bancroft.
I thought he would be representing Mac.
Yeah, I think he probably is, but he's the only lawyer I know. So I'm hoping that he will suggest another lawyer to me. And then there's another problem, there's money.
I thought you were taken care of.
Yes, as long as I was married to Mac.
I thought you had money in your own right.
Well, when Mac and I remarried, all the money went back into the estate. Everything is in his name now, and I'm broke.
There's a problem.
Yeah, well, I thought I had it all figured out, but my plan was declared unrealistic by you and Mom. I thought an art gallery would make some money, and you guys don't.
Come on, that is not what...
Well, I can teach. You see, people will pay for that kind of service. Unless you still think I'm being naive.
No, I don't know. There are possibilities. I've been thinking about it, and there might be something that I can do.
What?
I was involved with photography for a while, and it's very possible that there's something I can do with that.
Still gives us the same problem. We need money if we're going to start a business together.
Let me work it out.
Well, I'd like to know what it is you're going to do about it.
No, not yet.
Why not?
Because it's just an idea right now. I haven't developed it yet. Let me just work on it, and then I will let you know.
Thank you.
For one, I haven't done anything.
Yes, you have. You made me feel much better.
Oh, I should have worn my nursing shoes. My feet are killing me.
Why didn't someone warn us that apartments are so difficult to find?
Oh, forget the scarcity. What blew my mind was the prices they were asking.
Oh.
How can anybody afford to rent an apartment?
They can't. At least not on an intern's salary.
Combined with a nurse's salary, which we won't be able to count on for some time.
Well, the apartment situation looks pretty grim.
Grim. Very, very grim.
Very.
Especially when I think of all the things we have to do before the wedding, besides find an apartment.
So scary, huh?
Yeah. Maybe we're kind of rushing things a little.
Well, maybe. But I wouldn't have it any other way.
No, you're just saying that to make me feel good.
No, really. What, are you having second thoughts or something?
No. It's just... Well, there aren't enough hours in the day to get everything done.
Well, we'll manage. You'll see.
Hey, did I tell you that the engagement party has been moved from my mother's place to Olivia's?
No, why?
Well, I'm afraid that what started out to be an intimate little gathering has turned out to be the social event of the year. And Aunt Liz was afraid my mother's apartment wouldn't be big enough.
Well, that makes sense.
Do you think it's normal for people to be this nervous before they get married?
You know, I hear it's a very common symptom. It's called by a very scientific name, too.
Oh.
It's prenuptial jitters. Does that help symptom any? No?
Yeah, that helps a lot.
It does? Well, that's good.
Well, I thought you would have come to see me long before this, Jamie. Sit down.
Something wrong?
Jamie, why don't you tell me about it?
I'm not sure I know what you're talking about.
I think you do. You mean to say you don't read our competition? Front page, lower right-hand column.
Well, I didn't think it would hit the papers.
Oh, you didn't?
Is this what you wanted to talk to me about?
No, Jamie. But it's going to make it much harder to tell you in view of what's in there.
Well, what is it?
Jamie, you know I wanted you to learn this business as fast as possible in case you had to take my place unexpectedly someday. But I realize now that I've put entirely too much responsibility on your shoulders.
Now, Mac,
too much pressure. No, let me finish, please. It's entirely my fault. I was just stupid to think that I could continue to put you in charge of job after job without expecting some kind of backlash eventually.
What are you saying?
Simply this. I have watched you, and consequently your work, deteriorate alarmingly in these past few weeks. Now, Jamie, please don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I fully realize I expected much more of you than you could possibly deliver. I know that you have done everything in your power, and even perhaps beyond your power, to fulfill my expectations. But I was just wrong to place the burden of my expectations on your shoulders. In the final analysis, I've done you great harm.
Final analysis?
Yes, I use that word advisedly.
I'm not sure I know what you're talking about.
That you cannot continue to carry the workload that you're carrying. Not if you expect to operate on any level of competence.
No, but Mac,
No, please. Please sit down, Jamie. I'm aware now that this continued pressure on you has forced you to seek relief in ways that are totally unacceptable. And I will not have that sort of thing happen to you.
What do you mean?
Jamie, I think you know very well what I mean. In order to continue to function long after your body has given out, you've had to resort, you couldn't help yourself, to the use of drugs.
How do you know that?
What difference does it make how I know it? It's true, isn't it?
Mac, I have a job to do, and I'm trying to get it done.
You don't have to tell me how difficult these past months have been for you. I have a feeling you've had to face them practically alone. I'm certain I haven't been any help to you. More of a hindrance, I'd think.
Well, these past few months have been very difficult for you, too.
Yes, they have. If I hadn't been involved with your mother in this situation, surely I would have realized what I was doing to you long ago.
Mac, you haven't done a
I
thing
hate
to
to
me.
disagree with you, but I take full responsibility for what has happened to you, and I'm going to do something about it.
What?
Well, if pressure is the problem, then I have no choice but to remove the source of pressure.
And that means?
That means I want you to continue to use your many talents where they're most effective as a publisher of the Ledger. But
what?
But I have decided to relieve you of your responsibility as publisher of Brava. I've asked Pat to accept the position, and she's accepted.
Rachel, I haven't had the opportunity to see you or talk to you since all this came about. But I want to tell you how sad I am about you and Mac.
So am I, Brian. I I didn't plan for it to turn out this way. I had pictured Mac and me growing old together.
Well, that could still happen, Rachel.
No, it's too late.
You don't believe you can resolve your differences?
No.
Well, I'd like for it to be known here and now how fond I am of both of you.
That sounds like a proclamation.
Oh, it is. It's very official and very sincerely meant.
Brian, you've always been wonderful to both of us. Especially when you supported us all the way through that long trial.
I only wish it could have had a happy ending.
Well, maybe it will, if I can persuade you to represent me in the divorce. I know you're probably representing Mac, and that I shouldn't have asked you, but I had to ask you anyway.
Yes, Mac has asked me to represent him. But I haven't started the paperwork yet.
Really? I would have thought he wanted you to get right on it.
Oh, I don't believe he's that eager, Rachel. Perhaps he hopes for a reconciliation.
No, that'll never happen, Brian.
You sincerely believe that it's too late for you two?
Yes, I do.
And it's your desire that the proceedings be initiated right away?
There's no point in waiting, Brian. I want to get on with my life, and I'm sure that Mac feels the same way.
Well, there's one further point I'd like to make, if I may.
What?
I don't relish the task ahead of me. In fact, I dread it.
You don't have to say that. I know that. But, Brian, I need your help.
Well, name it.
Well, since you're representing Mac, could you suggest another lawyer to me? I don't know any lawyers.
Rachel, let me get back to you on that. May I?
Yes, of course. Well, I'll wait for your call. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Alice, there you are. Yeah. Been looking all over for you. Honey. Well, what brings you over here to the hospital? To see you. You know, since you got back from Chicago, I hardly ever see you.
And whose fault is that? You're working all the time.
Well, what about you?
Not me. I keep very regular hours here.
Oh.
Don't you play at all anymore?
Oh, Alice, my job really is demanding. And it's getting more demanding every day. I think in the future I'm going to have less and less time to be frivolous.
I hope you don't consider the family a frivolous activity.
No? Sorry, wrong word. Listen, by the way, before I forget, Aunt Liz wants to see you. She wants to get together and plan Marianne's engagement party.
Oh. She's really turning this into the social gala of the season, isn't she?
Well, you know, Aunt Liz, she's in her glory when she's involved in something like this.
And I'll bet she asked you to come over here and see if I would make the banana cream pie.
Oh, well, how did you guess?
Well, like I told you, I know Aunt Liz pretty well, too. But I am glad you came over. There's something that I've been trying to find out.
What's that?
Jamie Frame. How's he doing?
What about Jamie?
I was on duty the other night when the police brought him in.
Brought him in? For what?
They picked him up for driving under the influence of an unknown chemical substance.
Talking about drugs?
That's their guess.
Oh, my gosh, I can't believe it. Does Mac know?
Oh, I don't know.
No, I don't think he would. He would have said something to me yesterday.
Well, if he didn't know yesterday, I'm sure he knows today.
Why? What do you mean?
Well, that's right. You said you didn't know. Then you haven't seen the papers.
Oh, no, it's not in the papers.
Just the Sentinel, but as a featured story. They really played it up.
Oh, poor Jamie. Knew he was having problems, but I didn't think it was as serious as this.
Well, apparently it's very serious with him.
Maybe Mac made the right decision then.
About what?
Alice, Mac asked me to come into his office yesterday, and he told me that he's taking Brava away from Jamie's, making me publisher.
He's giving you Jamie's job?
Yeah, yes.
Well, isn't that interesting?
Well, it's really wonderful for me, but I really feel sorry for Jamie. I just guess he can't take care of all that responsibility.
I wonder if that's really why Mac did it.
What do you mean? Why else?
Well, Mac and Rachel are getting a divorce, aren't they?
Yeah.
So, maybe Mac's no longer as committed to making Janie heir to the Corey publishing fortune.
For someone who's a success, you don't look very happy. What is it, Ada? You've been kind of out of it all day.
It's Rachel. What else?
You're worried about her.
When am I not worried about her?
What's she doing now?
Not much. That's what I'm worried about.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, she's supposed to be getting a life together. You know, she's moving very slowly.
Well, maybe she's coasting along, getting used to the idea of being alone again.
Well, she's hardly alone. I mean, she's got Mitch, and she's got 2 small children.
I feel so bad about Mac. I hate to see them separate.
So do I.
But if Rachel's happy, I'm happy for her.
It's very generous of you.
Do you think she's really in love with him?
With Mitch? Well, she better be. Well, if she isn't, she's going to have a lot of problems with all the problems she's given everybody else.
Well, I guess it's romantic.
Well, I don't know how romantic it is, but I do know that she's got some pretty romantic ideas about how wonderful their life is going to be together.
You don't think it's going to be?
Well, I hope so. For her sake, but she better do something to make it wonderful, and soon.
Well, what do you mean, Ada?
Well, I mean, she has to start working on her divorce, and she has to find a way to support herself and 2 little children. That's not going to be easy.
I know.
I wonder if I did the right thing taking her in.
How can you say that, Ada?
Well, if I hadn't, maybe she wouldn't have been so eager to move out of her and Mac's house.
I don't know. People who are in love, they don't wait long to get things underway.
Well, I just hope she's not kidding herself.
In what way?
Well, about loving Mitch. I mean, I hope she's not being too hasty.
Ada, you're funny. At first you say she's too slow, then you say she's too hasty. Which is it?
Well, I mean them both.
Well, whatever happens, I'm glad she's there with you.
Why?
Because if anyone can help Rachel do the right thing, you can.
Thanks, honey. I needed to hear that right now.
Hi, Rick. Sorry I'm late.
That's all right.
I have to see someone.
Oh, well, I'm not on a tight schedule
Oh,
today.
good.
Are you all right?
Fine.
Are you sure?
You said you wanted to see me.
Yeah, Mac called me.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
What about?
Well, I was a little puzzled. He wanted me to come into the office.
You went?
Yeah.
What did he want?
Well, you must have mentioned me to him, because he wanted to know if I knew anything about you.
What do you want to know?
He knew that you were having some problems, and in his own words, he said that you were experiencing erratic behavior patterns.
Erratic behavior patterns? Well, let me tell you about erratic behavior patterns, Rick. I went into Mac's office today, and before I know it, he's telling me I have a drug problem. Now, you tell me, where did you get that little piece of information?
I didn't tell him, Jim.
You didn't tell him?
No.
What else didn't you tell him?
Nothing. I said that some people have difficulty coping with extreme pressure, and even if it is self-imposed, they can do some pretty strange things.
Strange things?
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks a lot. That's terrific.
Look,
Thanks a lot.
I don't know what Mac told you.
Well, you don't? He fired me as publisher of Brava magazine.
Jamie,
That's what
just
it is.
calm down,
Calm
all
down.
right?
I don't need to calm down.
Jamie, wait.
I was surprised to hear from you, Ben.
Really? Why?
Well, since Mac and I have split up, I haven't heard from any of my friends.
Oh. Well, that's your fault, Rachel.
I don't think so.
Do you really think that your friends are going to choose sides?
Well, it's happened to me before.
Well, let me tell you right here and now that whatever happens between you and Mac, whether you separate permanently or reconcile, you can count on my friendship.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
In fact, the reason I asked you to lunch, Rachel, I wanted you to hear it from me that Mac... Golly, it's so awkward.
What is it, Pat?
Well, it's some bad news about Jamie.
Well, if it's about the drugs, I already know about that.
No, unfortunately, it's something else. Mac has asked Jamie to step down as publisher of Brava.
What? I don't believe that.
Well, it's true.
Did he do this today?
Yes. It's created a very uncomfortable situation between Jamie and me.
I see. It's all beginning to make sense to me now.
Pardon me? What is?
What's happening to Jamie? Mac warned me.
Warned you? I don't understand.
He said something like this would happen, and I didn't listen to him. I guess I should have. I never dreamed he would do anything like this.
What are you saying, Rachel?
Mac told me that if we were to split up, it would affect my whole family. I guess he's making sure it will.
Oh, no, Rachel. I don't think that's what Mac meant.
I think it's exactly what he meant. And he can't do this, not if I have anything to say about it.
Please sit down.
Thanks, Mac.
I assume you're here about the divorce.
Yes, that's exactly why I called.
Good. Well, have you begun the paperwork?
No, that's what I wanted to talk to you about.
Oh?
Yes.
Well, Brian, I think you ought to get started. I don't want this dragging on forever.
Well, I'm guilty there, Mac.
I don't understand.
Well, I've been postponing getting work done on the papers.
Look, Brian, if you are harboring a secret hope that Rachel and I are going to get back together, well, I'm afraid it's just not going to happen. So you might as well get started as soon as you can.
Mac, Rachel came to see me. She's asked me to represent her side in the divorce proceedings.
Well, that's clearly impossible. I asked you to represent me some time ago. You told her that, didn't you?
I did. She understands that.
Good.
But that's not what I want to do.
I beg your pardon?
I'm afraid that I must go along with Rachel this time, Mac.
You can't be serious. Brian, how can you do this to me?
I'm sorry to upset you, Mac, but I feel that Rachel would suffer more if left to find an attorney on her own, someone she doesn't know.
Well, what about me? You mean you're going to go back on your word to me?
Well, since the case wasn't really formally taken, I feel that Rachel needs me more than you do, Mac. So I feel that I have to represent her.
So I'm just out in the cold, eh?
You have an entire staff of lawyers here at the Corey Complex. Now, Rachel has no one. And she is my client, Mac. I did represent her at the murder trial.
So this is what it comes down to. You decided to choose sides.
Oh, Mac,
Rachel is a winner.
I am not taking sides.
Well, that's certainly the way it seems to me.
Mac, believe me when I tell you that my first consideration was that you already have excellent legal counsel, and Rachel has none. Now, you must understand that.
Oh, I understand it. That doesn't make it any better. I'm bitterly disappointed. I am bitterly disappointed.
This just doesn't make sense. Nothing tallies. Oh, Alice, there you are. I've been looking all over for you. Rick and I have been out trying to find an apartment all morning. It's just a disaster.
Well, I have been taking inventory, and a lot of pills are missing. Do you know anything about it? I can't account for them.
Well, what do you think happened to them?
Beats me.
Do you think somebody's taking them?
I don't know what to think, but a significant number is missing.
What are you going to do about it?
I don't know. One thing's for sure, I've got to tell Russ, and then he can decide how he wants to handle it. I've got to get up there. I'll talk to you later.
Sure. Jamie.
Hi, I was looking for Rick.
Well, you should have waited.
Well, I thought he was in here.
No, when I got the phone call, I was about to tell you that he's working on the 4th floor.
Oh, okay, well, I'll just...
Jamie, is there anything I can do for you? You really look awfully disoriented.
No, I'm fine, Gee, you I'm in kind of a hurry. I'll tell you what. I really don't have time. Just tell Rick that I came by and that I'll stop to see him later, okay?
All right, sure.
Okay. Great. Nice seeing you. How are you?
I'm fine.
You look good.
Thanks.
Why are you so glum?
I got reasons.
You know, I kind of thought that our babysitting for Nancy would give us a chance to be alone together, you know, without anybody bothering us for once.
Does.
Ada left us some cold cuts. Are you hungry?
No.
You coming down with something?
No, I'm fine.
Leigh, it is not like you to refuse food. Are you sure you're feeling all right?
I'm fine.
Okay, then what are we going to do? Just sit around here all day and mope?
No, I thought maybe I'd try singing.
Forget it. I've heard you sing.
Hey, hold on.
I'm sorry. Hurt you. Besides, it's not really the kind of entertainment I had in mind, if you know what I mean.
I'm sorry.
What is it with you? You have lost every ounce of energy you've ever had.
I don't feel like doing much.
Yeah, well, that figures.
See? You're mad.
I'm not mad.
You get mad. Yes, you
I'm
are.
not
You're
mad.
mad.
I just want to know what your problem is.
The fact that I can't play hockey anymore.
Oh, your ankle's going to heal. It's
not
the end of your career.
Just my ankle.
Then what is it?
The coach kicked me off the team. He had to. I failed that class, so he kicked me off.
Is this permanent?
No, it's not permanent. You know, I was thinking, though. If I don't keep playing hockey, there's no way I'm going to get a shot at playing the Olympics.
Well, then study harder.
Where am I going to find the time? Huh?
Are you using me as an excuse?
Well, you're pretty glad I got kicked off the team. You are, aren't you? You're glad that I can't play hockey anymore. Come on, admit it. Come on.
Okay, maybe I am. And I know it's selfish of me. But I just can't help but be kind of glad I have all of your time now.
What are we going to do when Denny comes into town?
Oh, that's right, your brother, the tyrant.
Godzilla.
Well, when's he coming in?
A couple days.
You a little worried?
Well, according to Clarice, he's here to straighten me out. You know, I'm having a difficult time accepting the fact that I'm going to have to deal with him, along with everything else.
He just wants you to succeed, Leigh.
Well, he sure has a funny way of showing it.
There you are. I was wondering when you were going to come home. Where were you?
Out.
Well, I know you were out. Jamie, you know how much I worry about you when you don't come home? You could have at least called. Could have had dinner made for you.
When have you ever had dinner waiting for me?
That's not fair. Look, if you want to pick a fight,
No,
forget
I
about it,
don't
because
wanna
I've
do
got...
that.
It sure sounds like it.
Sorry.
Hey, Jamie, don't. Sit there. These are very important papers.
Move them.
No, I can't. Jamie, I have to have this work done by tomorrow morning. The lawyers need these contracts before Harold Gribble can sign with
I want
us.
to talk.
What do you think I've been doing?
I don't know.
You know, I don't know what to do about you anymore. You're either incoherent or else you're just dead to the world. Something's happened, hasn't it? What's wrong?
Nothing.
I see things a lot differently than that. What happened?
I don't know what's happened. I don't know what's happening. You know? My life, I don't know. It's like...
Well, like what? Jamie, I'm sorry that I was cross with you. I'm tired. I've got all these deadlines to meet,
It's
and you
okay.
know how you are when you meet
It's
and have
all right.
deadlines to do. No, it's not all right. Come on. Now, you tell me what happened.
Cecile, my life is falling apart.
No. No, it isn't. Really, you're just tired, too. Everything's going to be all right.
No. No, it won't.
Jamie, you said you wanted to talk. And now that I'm all ready, you don't.
I can't.
Okay. Okay, if that's the way you want it. I guess if there was something that you wanted to talk about, then you tell me. In the meantime, I'm going to get some work done.
Who told you you could come in here?
Do you think anyone could stop me?
You have no right to keep bursting into my
I'll
office like
burst
this.
in anywhere I choose. Did you fire Jamie? Did you?
Certainly I didn't fire Jamie. I simply removed him from Brava magazine.
And you don't call that firing?
I certainly do not call that firing.
Is he still working at the magazine?
No, he is not. He was pushing himself much too hard there.
He wasn't pushing himself, Mac. You're the one who's been pushing him.
All right, Rachel. I will admit, when I made him my heir, I loaded him down with too many responsibilities. I've now realized that I'm having to cut back on some of his duties.
You really want him to fail, don't you?
Rachel, you're very angry. You know that's not true. When you calm down a little, you'll realize that what I've done is right.
I don't care if you're right. Do you have any idea what this has done to him?
Oh, sure, I know that it's upset him.
Upset him? Oh, my God. Upset him? I think that's a little too mild, Mac.
You've talked to him?
No, I haven't talked to him. I just got through with lunch with Pat. And she was kind enough to inform me about what's going on, something you didn't do.
Well, Rachel, I'm very sorry if you feel this way about what I'm doing, but he was just operating under far too much pressure.
Pressure. That's exactly what he was operating under. Pressure that you put him under. He was under so much pressure, Mac, that he resorted to drugs to get through his days and nights.
Yes, he did. That's exactly what I said to Jamie. That's the reason I want to relieve him of all these duties, so that he won't be under all that pressure. So what's wrong with what I did?
Your timing is all off.
What does that mean, my timing?
Do you really enjoy kicking someone when they're down?
How can you accuse me of doing that? You know that's not true, Rachel. You know that I would never hurt Jamie if I knew that I was hurting him, and I'm sorry if I did. All I've done is try to rectify a situation that was intolerable for him, but I will not take all the blame for the condition he's in now because I didn't create the situation.
And just what is that supposed to mean?
It means that I will accept responsibility for making him my heir and loading him down with far too many duties here at the complex, but I will not take the blame for the condition he's in now.
Suppose you make yourself a little clearer.
All right, I will make myself clear. At this particular time in his life, he deeply needed the love of the people that he loves, and that first and foremost includes you, and you refuse to give him your support.
You're saying that I'm responsible for putting him in this condition?
Not completely, but I do think that you should face up to the fact of your part that you've played in the situation.
Just what are you talking about?
I'm talking about how much he wanted, how much he deeply needed your approval after he married Cecile.
And you're saying because of that one instance, all of this has happened to him?
It certainly helped. At a time when things were desperate for both of us, him and me, you chose to turn away completely, just when your son needed you the most.
Don't tell me how to treat my son.
And don't you tell me how to run my business.
I wouldn't think of it, my dear.
Jamie? Yeah, no, Jamie, I'm tired. Hey, no, not tonight. Jamie, please, no.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Right.
What's going on with you? You're still tense.
I'm sorry, I just keep thinking about Jamie.
Hey, come on, just let that go. Just let it go for a while.
I can't help it, Mitch. He just makes me so furious.
Jamie?
No, Mac. And what he's done to Jamie. Do you know what I think he's trying to do?
No.
He's trying to punish my whole family. He can't stand rejection, so he's got to punish all of us.
Join us each weekday at this time for the continuing story of Another World.